Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another episode of my Sketch With Me series, where today I am very excited because as you can see here, am going to be working on this sketch and drawing that I already have here. This is actually not obviously my drawing or arts. This is actually the cover art for one of Bad Bunny's albums called Un Verano Sin Ti, or translated to English would be A Summer Without You. And as you can see here on my phone, I have like the original drawing cover arts, and I'm going to be using this to work and practice my watercolor, which is what I'm using now to paint it or color it in. So a little bit of backstory of how this all came to be. As you all, if you've been following me on this channel, know, I really like watercolor, but I struggle a lot to use it. I feel like I can never control it right, and especially in the Sketch With Me series, I've tried using it a lot. I've done lots of different things with it, different drawings, and I feel like I haven't really learned much about how to use it in comparison to how much I've been using it. And so I started thinking that maybe part of my problem is that when I go to do this, have something like, I usually make it up all from my head, the drawing, the sketch, the colors, everything. And so I usually focus more on making something instead of actually learning how to work with the watercolor. And so I was thinking of maybe getting like a picture or a painting of something that's already made, designed, already has all the colors, and then just redoing that in watercolor so that I wouldn't have to think about anything besides how to use my watercolor to like recreate this image. And from there, it was just a matter of picking what to do. And I was talking to my cousin one day when we were playing games, and I'm pretty sure we were talking about Bad Bunny or arts or something, and she ended up telling me that she actually recreated this same album cover arts with watercolors, and she felt that it was pretty easy to like recreate. And so that gave me the idea to try it, and long story short, here I am. I'm using my watercolors, and I have the cover art as a reference close by on my phone during this whole process. And what I obviously just like traced, copied on the design to fit this page. um, and I'm just solely focusing on recreating the same image with my watercolor, which honestly sounds easy enough, especially if you know what you're doing with watercolor, but I very clearly don't, and so I struggled a lot. But I have to say, this like technique or this style, whatever, really helped me, because as you can see, my watercolor selection is somewhat limited. I really had to figure out how to use the colors provided and my control of water, to make these colors work, to get it as close as physically possible to the original colors on the album art. For me, one of the hardest was the red, because there's obviously the red hearts and the red in the sky, which is actually like two reds. One is almost like a pinkish. Um, and I didn't have like the exact colors for this. I had one red and then one magenta-y pink, and so I kind of had to really lock in and focus on my water control, how much water I was using, how much pigment I was grabbing. And honestly, I learned a lot more just in this one piece and everything I've done so far with watercolor. I've learned, one, you have to be so much more patient than what I thought. Um, and I learned really how to like go back and add and layer the colors to change them, if that makes any sense. Um, as you can see here, I did manage to recreate the colors for the sky. It's not perfect, but I was able to actually make the two tones of red that I needed, and then still have another red for the hearts, so it wouldn't be exactly the same. Um, I would like to say, obviously, this is from Bad Bunny's album Un Verano Sin Ti, which I personally love. I didn't really get into it when it came out. I kind of found it later on, thanks to my cousin again. But this art was a collaboration between obviously Bad Bunny himself and a Los Angeles-based designer named Adrian Hernandez, or also widely known as Ugly Primo. And they together worked to create this art, which I think is really nice and beautiful on its own. I hope that my interpretation of it with this watercolor does it justice. Obviously, it's not perfect. I also had to scale the drawing a bit so it would fit better on my page. But honestly, this exercise, I think, is the best way to call this an artistic exercise. For me personally, has been the most helpful thing when it comes to learning how to use watercolors, because I really just turned off my brain and the parts of trying to draw something or paint something or focus on anything other than how to use my specific set of watercolors. And so being very limited to the only things I was doing or adding was using my watercolor set and figuring out how to use it with the limited colors and how to control the water and everything, to me really helped. I'm really happy with how this turned out and really happy with how, I guess, this exercise went and what all it taught me. I hope you all liked it as well, and if you've seen the original cover art, I hope you think this is good enough or close and you can kind of see what I was trying to do. If you haven't seen it, then I recommend you looking it up because it's really pretty. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye.